Hey, what's going on everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. And when I was in Connecticut about 3 weeks ago, I saw something that was pretty interesting, and I wanted to put this video out there to see if this is happening with anyone else in the country. So I was talking to one of the managers at a Goodwill, and when I was talking to him, first thing is, I congratulated him. This guy lost like 50 pounds doing the keto diet. And then secondly, we were talking, he was like, listen, did you see that the glass case isn't there anymore? And I was like, yeah, I did. Like, why don't you have that glass case? You guys know what I'm talking about. You walk into a Goodwill and they have the glass case with all the expensive stuff. And I was like, yeah, man, like what happened to it? And he said, well, from now on, anything that we value at $40 or more, we're sending it into the Goodwill online store. And I said, really? I said, are you doing this for all the categories? He said, yes, for every single category. If we value it at $40 or more, we're sending it into the online store. And I thought this was very interesting because I saw this trend happening a couple of years ago, but it was like a very small percentage of the items. But now at this one particular thrift store, it's actually in Manchester, Connecticut, they're doing that. And I thought it was very, very interesting. And secondly, at this thrift store, they jacked up all the prices, for example, on the books. So at this one store, the books used to be $1 or $2, and sometimes on like the big fat student textbooks, they would be $4. Well, now I walked in there, these textbooks are $13, $15, $17, $19. And I was looking at other items at this place too. They went up 200, 300, 400%. So I don't know if it's this whole quarantine thing and they're losing money or what's going on, but I thought this was very interesting to see that one, they're sending in items that are over a certain price into the online store, and two, that they've jacked up the prices like crazy. So, we've seen this trend for anyone who's been thrifting for more than 3 or 4 or 5 years, especially started like about 5 years ago, the prices started to go up. I remember going into Savers and buying t-shirts for 99 cents, buying, Ermenegildo, Yegna dress shirts, and even Keaton shirts and Canales for $3.99, $4.99, and now those are $12.99, $14.99, $16.99. So the prices have really been increasing, but I'm curious, I want to put this video out there to kind of gauge, has this been happening in your areas? Has this been happening in your thrift stores? Obviously, the Goodwill online store has been, in business for a long time. But that's interesting. That's very interesting that they're really making a move towards this. And I'm curious if thrift stores are going to become less dependent upon selling their items in the physical store or moving it more towards the online model. I feel like personally it's a lot easier for these thrift stores to make money and cash flow at a physical store because they're just cleaning it and putting it on the floor. Obviously they're making less money up front, but they're not putting in as much time online to have to list, take pictures, ship, returns, because most of these thrift stores don't have returns. And if they do, it's a store credit, so they're locking in their profit. But I'm very interested to hear what your thoughts are on this. I do believe that, physical stores are going to continue to move, physical thrift stores are going to continue to move more towards the online model. But the problem is they've got to get their systems and their processes in line. And it's kind of a sad truth, but I feel like a lot of the people who work at these thrift stores, not everybody, but a lot of them are, not the brightest of the bright. I don't know a politically correct way to say it. And when you pay people minimum wage, sometimes it's tough to get the results that you want. Maybe that's a nicer way of saying it. But I think you guys know what I'm saying. And I feel like when I look at the Goodwill online store and any thrift stores who do business online, it just seems to be sloppy and it seems to be inefficient, right? Even like a lot of thrift stores, I noticed they're on Amazon, they're selling as merchants instead of FBA because they haven't been able to figure that out, even though FBA is so much better. So this is just an interesting thing that happened at my store. I'm curious if this is happening at your store. I'm curious what your thoughts are in terms of the direction of thrift stores. Do you still see thrift stores in the physical form being popular? I absolutely do, but I think over time things are going to shift online. And I noticed an interesting thing about my Savers thrift store. So my Savers thrift store is really starting to leverage wholesale a lot more, but not like good wholesale, like really cheap Chinese crap that you see at like the dollar store. like for different seasons like Christmas and Halloween. They're bringing in and loading up the store, 40, 50% of the store with all this cheap wholesale crap. And the thing is, because they have so much traffic coming in towards these thrifted items, because retails are just crazy, the prices that they have. So even though the prices are getting jacked up, a $16 shirt is much less than a $50 American Eagle item that you're gonna have to buy new. So a lot of interesting things happening in the landscape, a lot of changes happening. Again, leave a comment down below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are and your predictions. I'm just one guy, and I'm predicting that things are gonna keep moving towards online, and I think they're gonna move more towards like the wholesale and junk, and like leave like the lower end stuff in the store, more of like a tag sale, flea market style. But let me know in the comments. With that being said, appreciate you watching and have a good day. Smash that like button.